I just went and laid down and took me a nap. Technically I went to sleep. But this was 2 days ago. So that would have been Saturday night coming into Sunday night, correct? I was so bloated I didn't even log in yesterday. I was like, I'm too bloated for this foolishness. Just gonna go to sleep. That was my attitude yesterday. I'm gonna just tell you how it is. You know me. Shall we start over for the individuals who just got here? Cause you're late. Let them.
Last week, I received a cease and desist letter from Turning Point.
He did.
This is the first step in a lawsuit.
It is.
If I post this video, Turning Point will likely sue me and try to destroy my life.
Not likely.
I have a choice to make. I can speak the truth, but it will cost me everything I have.
My lord.
The corrupt Turning Point executives have forgotten something. In 1941, Pearl Harbor was attacked by Japan. Hundreds of Japanese planes destroyed much of the U.S. fleet and the planes on the ground. The attack was such a surprise, most U.S. planes on the island were not able to take off. But a handful of brave U.S. pilots, without orders, jumped in their planes, managed to take off, and engage with the enemy. One of them, Philip Rasmussen, was still in his pajamas. This is how he describes the attack in his own words. I was in my pajamas, and I yelled down the hallway that we were being attacked by the Japanese.
We were.
And I ran to my room, and I strapped a webbed belt around my waist, and a 45 caliber pistol in my holster that was on this belt. I put on a pair of shoes and ran for the flight line. A handful of U.S. pilots faced off against hundreds of Japanese planes. That is courage under fire. And they kept Pearl Harbor from being even worse. 2,403 Americans died in the attack on Pearl Harbor.
My lord.
Being brave is part of what it means to be an American. That is something that Charlie Kirk understood. And it's something that I try to live up to.
Amen.
I owe it to those brave Americans who gave their lives. So I have one message for all you patriots out there. It's time to fly.
Well. I felt that in my spirit. It's time to fly. Look at the little intro.
I believe what is going on at Turning Point is so much worse than anything I've talked about so far. It is so bad that it would implicate the entire leadership at Turning Point.
Not implicate.
And it has to do with ballot harvesting.
What?
I want to start by addressing some criticism. Since I started posting videos about financial irregularities at Turning Point, I have been viciously attacked. One of these people is a lawyer named Robert Barnes.
Says any comment on the financial fraud that Wolves and Finance has pointed out? I know your answer to this, Robert.
Wolves and Finance is a big fat fraud. He's a joke. He's a disgrace.
First of all, he ain't fair. I mean, I know you're probably figuratively speaking, but word choice. How is he a fraud? I don't understand. How is he a fraud? Let him finish.
Liar? Liar?
You know when people have to do all that. You know when people have to do all that.
About the records that
Look at his face. Look at it, right?
He falsely stated that the TPUSAs didn't have an address at a place, basically.
He said it was at the UPS store. That seemed to have checked out.
at a location. He was lying about it. It was right there. It's like, oh, I came to the mall and there's nothing here. It must be totally fake business. Everybody uses mail drops for the most part. And if you're TPUSA, you have very good security reasons for doing so. And he just lied about it. Wolves in finance, fraud, fake, phony. That's all he is. That's all he's ever going to be. He lied about how tax law works. He lied about how charitable law works. He lied about what TP. He's like, look at this TP Action 2024 has made a bunch of money. Maybe they made it in secret from Charlie Kirk. It was their get out the vote operation for 2024. You nitwit. I mean, he just lied about every basic thing. Wolves in finance, big fat fraud. He wants to get into the clickbait core world with Candace Owens, who's queen of the brothel there.
It always go back to Candace.
That's the only thing he did right.
Let me tell you what I think
of
Robert Barnes.
Yeah, let's go.
I actually really like the guy. I've been a fan of his for a long time.
Huh.
He's a lawyer. He's an expert on constitutional law, and you have to respect that.
Okay.
That clip was from the Viva Fry podcast, which is a podcast that Robert Barnes is on a lot.
Okay.
I also really like Viva Fry. Viva Fry is one of the few podcasters that is brave enough to accurately cover the pipe bomber story, which is something I care a lot about. Robert Barnes also has a long resume in his legal work, including working on the Alex Jones defamation lawsuits, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and the Amish farmers who refused USDA inspection. So he's obviously a really good lawyer. But more than that, he's just a really likable person.
Oh, okay.
Do you know anyone like this? He's one of these guys, you cannot help but like him. I know that he's going around saying all these mean and horrible things about me. But I still like the guy. I can't help it.
Okay.
He's just a likable person. Now, obviously, he's wrong about me.
Oh.
Anyone who has seen my videos knows he's clearly misrepresenting what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to hold that against him.
Sure.
Everyone is allowed to have a bad take once in a while.
For sure.
I'm not going to let it bother me. He's allowed to have his own opinion. What he's not allowed to do is argue with the facts.
Especially not coming from a constitutional lawyer. Excuse me, man. Don't do that. Let me speed him up, man, okay? We need them. We need 1.5 at least. Oh, my goodness.
Robert Barnes went on a podcast called Paramount Tactical, and they discussed a letter that was allegedly sent from the IRS to Turning Point.
All right, so that is just kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as the allegations. I know that Wolves and Finances have kind of brought to the fore against TPUSA. And Robert, I know I actually got some of the documents, the letter from the IRS to Erica Kirk and TPUSA that talks about what their situation is as regards to the IRS.
This letter has been floating around and reported on by mainstream news outlets like CBS, except the letter itself has never been shown until Paramount Tactical's podcast. In fact, I'm guessing he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking. Here's a 2-page letter on Department of the Treasury.
I'm gonna say it. This is like his second time doing this. Then Andrew tell him, don't show this text message thread. Okay, so we got EIN numbers. Oh, Lord. Requested certain return information of the 4 tax-exempt entities listed above, for which you are chairman, CEO, or president. In particular, you requested the following information. Number 1, whether any returns filed by these entities are being examined or subject to any other current investigation by the IRS, and if so, a description of the nature of any such activity. And number 2, confirmation that the, let me start smelling. You really can't. There's nothing really you can do about it. Confirmation that the above named entities submitted on time and to the IRS by May 15, 2025. Their respective IRS forms 990 for the tax year beginning July 1st, 2023. A muffin. And ending June 30th, 2024. Okay. July 1st, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2024. Okay. Confirmation that the above-named organizations are not required to submit until May 15, 2026, their respective IRS forms 990 for the tax year beginning July 1st, 2024. And okay.
It says it is responding to a request from Erica Kirk.
You're right.
It says, 1, there is no IRS investigation currently underway on
Right.
2,
Right.
all 499 forms were filed by May 15, 2025. 3, the next year's form will be filed by May 15, 2026.
Right.
The letter is signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Here Now Tactical is presenting this letter as some kind of evidence that there is no fraud at Turning Point.
Treasury Secretary.
That is ridiculous for a number of reasons. We all know this because all of us deal with the IRS. We all know this is not normal behavior. Have any of you
Ever
seen
sent
a
the
letter from the IRS saying, just letting you know, we're not doing an investigation on you? No, of course you have not, because the IRS does not do this. And it's not coming from the IRS. The letter
Scott.
is signed by the...
When I tell you my motherfucking hand on my blue, I'm like, IRS? He ain't even at the IRS, he at the Treasury.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. To me,
Best-
this looks more like a political favor to Donald Trump's personal friends than a legitimate IRS communication.
Bingo.
Second, the wording in this letter does not mean anything.
Exactly. Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service. They just do something together.
Just because the IRS is not investigating does not mean there is no fraud going on. This does not mean that donors cannot sue Turning Point to get their money back. This does not mean that state attorney generals cannot file criminal charges against Turning Point executives. This letter does not disprove my concerns about their finances.
Ooh.
And what is this?
Right.
What is this?
Erica.
At the top of the page, someone has crossed out Mrs. Kirk and wrote in Erica. It looks like someone is proofreading Scott Bessent's letter.
Dear Miss Kirk, who else would it be? Or why would you have to cross out Mrs. Kirk and write Erica?
Who could that be? I have reviewed so many White House documents, and in my opinion, that handwriting looks like it was written by Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
If you compare it to other samples of his writing, he does a consistent method where he writes a name dash, name dash, name dash. The K is very much like this K. The E is written the same way as this W. This handwriting looks like it belongs to Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
This letter does not look like it came from the IRS. It
Bingo.
looks like it came from the President of the United States.
Uh-oh.
Do you understand what this means? This is the only document the Democrats need to impeach President Trump.
Oh. Ooh. It's getting spicy up in here now. Ooh. Ooh, it just got spicy in here. Wow.
This looks like the president's handwriting on official letterhead of him interfering in an IRS investigation of his personal friends. Let me remind you of Richard Nixon. Nixon faced impeachment charges for interfering with the FBI investigation into the Watergate scandal. The main evidence was secret tape recordings of conversations in the Oval Office. Donald Trump is doing the same thing with the IRS investigation, but this time we have what looks like his handwriting on official letterhead. It looks like
Not
the White House
impeach.
is now part of the cover-up at Turning Point.
Oh.
Let me give some free accounting advice to Donald Trump. You get this one for free, Donald. Stop writing letters like this. Why isn't he distancing himself from this scandal? I highly doubt that Donald Trump was aware of what Tyler Boyer was doing behind the scenes. But now with this letter, Donald Trump looks like he's getting involved. And I'm saying this as someone who likes Donald Trump, and this letter deeply bothers me. People have a right to be upset about this. Turning Point has been raising millions of dollars from donations. Most people don't know what has been happening with the donations. I received a message from St. Margaret. Like many other people,
Who is
she donated
Margaret?
money to Turning Point USA because she was moved by Charlie Kirk's death. She was told if she gave a donation that she would receive a hat as part of their fundraising effort. Here's the message.
A hat?
Thank you for your contribution to Turning Point USA with the official Turning Point email address. And it says, shipping of your hat could take up to 10 to 12 weeks. She donated on September 16th. 12 weeks would have been the second week in December. Margaret has never received a hat.
Uh-oh.
Instead, she received this card with a rubber bracelet. They are sending bracelets to people instead of the hat they promised. And this is not an isolated incident. Here is a Facebook post. Made a $25 donation to TPUSA back in September that was supposed to come with a 47 hat free for making the donation. Never got hat. Tried texting them and calling them several times and have not gotten response. Did get one response from someone named Anika, who said she had no record of the transaction. Have sent them copies of my receipt with no response. Called and left my name and contact info on their voicemail because they never answer the phone and they don't even call you back. Loves Charlie Kirk and watched him religiously, but this has totally disappointed me. We'll call my bank and see if I can get reimbursed for the donation. And the replies are full of comments saying the same thing. All I got was a bracelet. We got a bracelet. No hat as promised. Got a cheap rubber band bracelet and no hat. That's a big way to turn people away. Just make false promises. Same thing happened to my husband. No hat. Gave a donation back in September. And it goes on and on and on. People need to realize what Turning Point has been doing to get donations since Charlie Kirk's death. They are lying to people to get their money and then sending them bracelets. Let's look at the big picture. When someone gives money to Turning Point USA, what do they think they're giving money to?
Right.
Most people think they're giving money to campus events.
Sure.
Like Charlie Kirk did. He would go to college campuses and answer questions. This is such a good nonprofit idea. Everyone supports that idea. Everyone knows that there's a major problem in the United States with college campuses. We have professors teaching communism and woke ideas in the classroom. How do we fix this? One way is what Charlie Kirk was doing. He was creating spaces on college campuses where students could talk about capitalism and free markets. He was allowing free speech where people could make fun of being woke. Everyone likes this idea. Everyone wants
Everybody
more of this.
doesn't have.
If this was all Turning Point was doing, no one would have a problem with it. What people are now realizing from Turning Point's financial information is that they are involved in a whole lot more. Let us look again at the 4 nonprofit companies. We have Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, Turning Point Endowment, and America's Turning Point. 3 of these companies are 501c3 organizations. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. The difference is that a 501c3 is not allowed to participate in political activity. A 501c4 can participate in no more than 50% political activity. And then there is also Turning Point PAC, which is 100% political activity. Now, I've seen arguments from people claiming that this is normal. They say it is normal for nonprofits to have multiple different companies. Not like this, it's not. Do not let people gaslight you about what's going on here. Let me explain what is unusual. You would normally create different shell companies for different types of activities. For instance, Turning Point Endowment is for their investments. That's clearly a different type of activity. It gets its own company. That makes sense. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. That's a different type of activity, so it gets its own company. What is this? Why is America's Turning Point separate? The company descriptions on the 990 form are very similar. It's basically education for young people. So why are these 2 different companies? The only major difference that I see is that Charlie Kirk managed Turning Point USA and Tyler Boyer managed America's Turning Point. So in a way, America's Turning Point existed to give Charlie Kirk plausible deniability. It gave Tyler Boyer his own 501c3 where he could do whatever he wanted, and Charlie Kirk would not necessarily know about it. This is explained in the fine print of the 990 form for Turning Point USA, which says, Turning Point USA's other educational programs include campus leadership programs, which are hosted by Turning Point USA's related entity, America's Turning Point, with grants totaling $8.6 million. So what is Tyler Boyer doing with these students? It sounds like this leadership program is a pipeline for these students to go work for Tyler Boyer. I wonder what these students are doing that costs $8.6 million. We're going to get into that in a minute. The other obvious question for most people is, how does Turning Point get involved in so much political activity? The only companies that are allowed to do political activity are up to 50% of Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC. What happens in the real world is that a lot of 501c3s will perform what they call get out the vote efforts, or voter education. This is defined in Treasury Regulation 1.527-6b5. Get out the vote campaigns must not be specifically identified by the organization with any candidate or political party. As long as these are nonpartisan activities, they are considered not political, and that is the loophole that is allowed for a 501c3. This would include things like signing people up for new voter registration. But you cannot be pushing for Republican or Democrat. It has to be completely nonpartisan. Here's the problem. Turning Point USA is a 501c3. They are supposed to be non-political. But then we see Erica Kirk endorsing J.D. Vance for president.
We're going to ensure that President Trump has Congress for all 4 years. We are going to get my husband's friend, J.D. Vance, elected for 48 and the most resounding way possible.
This is at America Fest, Turning Point USA's largest event, with the CEO in a flashy pantsuit giving a speech endorsing a political candidate. This is strictly forbidden under the law for a 501c3. You cannot endorse political candidates. That is political activity. In my opinion, what Erica Kirk just did was illegal. This is effectively using their tax-exempt donations to create a campaign commercial for J.D. Vance. And before you say, well, maybe it was paid for by one of the other companies that allow political activity. No, no, no. It says Turning Point USA behind her head during the speech. The tickets for the event were sent out from Turning Point USA. The fact page for the event is hosted at tpusa.com. At the bottom of the webpage, it explicitly says Turning Point USA is a 501c3. It looks to me like the executives at Turning Point are playing pretty fast and loose with the laws concerning 501c3s. Remember why this is important.
Right.
A 501c3 is tax exempt, which is a tax subsidy. You are paying more in taxes so that they do not have to. So is it fair that Democrats are paying taxes that fund a campaign commercial for J.D. Vance? This is so unjust, which is why there are so many laws against what Erica Kirk just did. If she wants to endorse a candidate, that's fine, but she needs to pay for it out of Turning Point PAC. I'm going to give you the exact wording from IRS Revenue Rule 2007-41. A 501c3 does not participate in or intervene in, including the publishing or distributing of statements, any political campaign on behalf of or in opposition to any candidate for public office. That seems pretty clear that Erica Kirk's statement was illegal. So the only nonprofit that is supposed to do political activity is the 501c4 Turning Point Action. There is a special section on their 990 form where they are supposed to list out the political activity they are engaged in, Schedule C. Now, everyone should go check out Schedule C for Turning Point Action because it is quite shocking. For FY24, on line 2, they listed that they spent $637,500 on political campaign activity expenditures. Now, just let that sink in for a moment. Out of Turning Point Action's $21 million budget, they only spent 3% on political activity.
Right.
Now, just from what you know about what Turning Point Action does that seem right to you?
Not really,
Now, they
but go
actually provide a
ahead.
description of what the $637,500 was
Campaign
spent
activities, here we
on.
go.
They claim it was specifically political campaign activities include event expense. So they spent this money on some kind of event.
Sure.
I'm guessing it was a campaign rally for Donald Trump. And they are claiming that this is the only thing that Turning Point Action does that qualifies as political activity. All of the rest of the millions of dollars that they have spent was not for political activity.
Right. Then
I
what
have
was
a
it?
hard time believing that. We're going to take a closer look. If Turning Point Action spent more than 3% of their budget on political activity, that means they lied to the IRS and they lied to their donors, and that is fraud. This would be an omission of potentially taxable income. So what I want to do is an audit. We're going to do an audit right here, right now, and you people on the internet can help me do it.
Oh
We're
my
going to look at what
goodness.
Turning Point Action actually does in real life.
Okay.
And then we're going to compare that to what they are reporting in their financials.
Okay, come on.
If it looks like their political activity exceeds 3%,
I need a snack. I need another one. I done ran through my cheese and crackers. I had them Club Minis, and I had some Cobra Jet. And then I had them Planters cashews lightly salted. Usually I just get the non-salted, but they didn't have any, so I had to go with the lightly. I done drunk all my water, almost. I need to get me some more snack. I think I'm gonna go get me some graham crackers or something, because child, we finna do a whole audit. Give me a second. I'll be big. Let me go get me a snack, honey, because we finna do an audit. You ain't saying about all that, but it is every 46 minutes. So I said, let me get my bowl. Let me get my bowl. Get me some more water while I go in there, too. I'm finna get me some graham crackers and peanut butter real quick. Here right now, live on camera. Let's go, everybody. I said, oh, okay. I need a snack. Oh, we finna do an audit. We finna do an audit. Come on. Let's go. Let's get this audit started.
means that they are lying. So to start out with, On their website, tpaction.com, there's an entire page dedicated to ballot harvesting.
Okay.
It says,
Ballot
Turning
harvesting.
Point Action's Chase the Vote initiative. They say,
Ooh.
TP Action chased ballots in Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada.
What they doing
describe
all the
this
way over
as,
here?
The radical left was beating us in the ballot game. In 2024, Turning Point Action launched the first and most robust conservative ballot operation. So they're specifically saying on the website that this is partisan. It should not qualify as a nonpartisan get out the vote effort. It is extremely partisan. So why are the offenses for this not listed on the 990 form? This Chase the Vote initiative sounds like ballot harvesting.
Ooh.
People call this different names.
Okay.
Ballot harvesting, ballot chasing, door knocking, whatever you call it.
Okay,
People
whatever
exploit
you want to
someone's
call
door
it.
and getting their ballot.
Okay.
Ballot harvesting is not illegal as long as they follow the rules.
Right.
Every state has different
501c3?
election laws.
Right.
For instance, in Arizona,
Look, I'm like, let me see what's going on. That's my Wi-Fi just went out. So if you out, no, you on Verizon. You shouldn't be out. Look, I'm like, you on Verizon. You good. I'm like, let me see. Let me see what's going on. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see what's going on with the internet. Okay. She look like she's loading. I'm like, but I know you should be good because you're on Verizon. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. Yes. Okay, we're let me see. Let me see what she got going on. Okay. She's loading. I should have bought the hotspot. I said I was gonna. Oh, okay. We're back. Go on back to Arizona, and let me see what's going on over here. Give it a second. She need to load. Scoot it back a little bit. See if she need to refresh. She's still saying no connection over here. Hold on. Give me a second. I don't know why I got this mouse all the way over here. Let me. All on my damn shoulder. Okay, no. That's definitely the internet for sure. That's definitely okay. She says she's attempting. Just give her a second, y'all. Know it's a snowstorm or something. But well, we didn't get no snow. They lied. Well, they told us we were gonna get ice because we down here in Georgia. So they ain't saying nothing about no snow. They said it was gonna be a lot of ice, inclement ice. That's what they said. It's gonna be a little inclement ice. Had people excited about snow. Okay, are we back? Can you, Arizona?
the rules.
Let's go.
Every state has different election laws.
Excuse
For
me.
instance, in Arizona,
Oh my goodness. Bring the mouse back. Let me see what's going on. Just let me see. I'm gonna go get the hotspot. God knows she's not gonna do it. Okay, my internet
harvesting
says.
is only allowed for immediate family members and caregivers. For the sake of this video, we are going to assume that
Get
Turning
out
Point
the
is
way.
doing ballot harvesting correctly.
Okay.
I'm just going to assume that they hired all of these people to harvest ballots only for their immediate family members. I know that is a massive assumption, but
Sure.
we're going to start there.
Okay.
My
Oh
problem
my
is
God.
not the ballot harvesting. The problem is
Hold on just a second. Hold on. Give me a second. Because my live just stopped. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Are we streaming? Okay. Oh, jeez. I'm glad I was checking. Because I would have never even known that this live just stopped. Ooh, and I got gas. Them cashews got me so gassy. Okay, hold on. Move back. Bring the mouse back over here. Hold on. Let me get OBS right back up. Cause she's struggling. She's struggling. I don't know how she. What is this? I don't know how she's sitting here talking about I'm live. Let me refresh and see. Because I got still live over here, so I'm just trying to figure out why she's saying that. I'm still live. But my live just ended. I'm not live, am I? Hold on, give me a second. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me start it all over What was that? 17. Oh, you done threw the numbers off. Now I gotta go find another. Move out the way. Check out my history and see. I'm gonna go back to okay. Okay, give me that. I had to go get another quote for the thumbnail because the live just ended. So obviously I had to go get another quote. I'm obviously not gonna be able to use the same one. Okay. This just give me my thumbnail. Okay. Okay. Let me see if it's you don't have the chat. Okay. Are we? Okay. 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 Move this out the way. Settle down over here clicking stuff. Okay. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay. I was making sure we were live. Excuse me. All right. Let me get on back on. Let them finish.
How are they paying for the ballot harvesting? Are they paying for it out of companies that are not supposed to be doing political activity and then not reporting it to the IRS?
Obviously.
Here's a post by Tyler Boyer.
Uh-oh.
Another day, another group of dozens of full-time ballot chasers being trained into the field. I wonder how they are paying for all this.
Oh.
Here's another post by Ashley on X.com. Ballot chasing in Arizona with TP Action. Make America Great Again. Hashtag Trump 2024.
Uh-oh.
In the photograph, they are wearing red MAGA hats.
Uh-oh.
Now, in my opinion, if you are wearing a red MAGA hat and putting in your social media post hashtag Trump 2024, this is clearly political activity.
Clearly.
Profile page says she's a college deputy director at Turning Point USA, which is not
Deputy
supposed to do
director.
any political activity. So is this senior manager being paid?
Uh-oh.
And where is that money coming from?
Oh.
Because it does not look like it was reported as political activity
Oh.
on the 990 form.
Oh.
Here's a screenshot from an interview with Tyler Boyer.
Look,
This looks like he is
nice
sitting at his desk at
screenshot.
home. You can see behind his head a poster that reads, "Knock doors, win elections." It looks like it is talking about the Chase the Vote initiative. It's on the wall right behind his desk. For something so important that Tyler Boyer keeps it right behind his desk,
Oh.
does it make sense to you that political activity only makes up 3% of the budget of Turning Point Action? Here's a post from Matthew Martinez that says, "From chasing every vote to curing every ballot. Tonight, TP Action called thousands of voters to help them cure their rejected ballots. We are laser focused on chasing and curing every vote until polls close here in Wisconsin." On his profile, he lists Turning Point Action. I don't know if he works for them, but it certainly looks like he's getting paid. This is a post by Jeanette Garcia. Some people stack paper, TP Action stacks paper. And she's holding a pile of request forms for early voting. Her profile says she's the CTV Deputy Director for Turning Point Action. How much is she getting paid?
Oh.
She also posted this, meeting today with TP Action. Chase the Vote senior managers and getting prepared to take on 2026. And there are all these people. How much money are these people getting paid? We know they are getting paid because we have a job posting. Now hiring Chase the Vote managers in New Hampshire. Visit tpaction.com/careers. They are hiring vote managers and paying them. Here's another advertisement. If you live in South Phoenix, Levine, or downtown Phoenix, Turning Point is hiring door knockers. Ballot chasing representative, positions available now. So it's not just the managers they're paying, they are paying the people knocking on the doors. By the way, the person who posted this is Tatiana Pena, who is one of the candidates who paid money to the UPS store mailbox for 110 LLC.
Uh-oh.
This is the post by Justine Wadzak, who is another politician who paid money to the UPS store mailbox for 110 LLC.
Uh-oh.
This is wild. This is a series of photos. Here's Justine wearing a MAGA hat. She is standing over the shoulder of a voter watching him fill in the voting form. She makes sure he fills in the bubble that she wants, and then walks the voter out to the mailbox to make sure he puts it in the mail.
Ooh.
Now correct me if I'm wrong.
Ooh.
But doesn't this look like voter intimidation?
Oh.
I did not know this was legal in
Oh.
the United States.
Uh-oh.
How can you look over someone's shoulder while they are voting? This is not just door knocking. This is not just talking about a candidate. This goes so much
Voter
further.
fraud.
And also, this is extremely partisan and should be reported in the financials as political activity.
Oh.
I want to know, how much is this lady getting paid by Turning Point? Because her profile says she's a TP Action CTV leader, and her profile photo shows her talking on the Charlie Kirk Show. How much is she getting paid?
I don't know. What you asking me for?
It is currently day 6,
What are
knocking
you
doors
asking me for?
in Mesa, Arizona for the recall election.
Uh-huh.
It is hot out here. There is not a single cloud in sight. Super bright.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I am more motivated than ever.
What did you say he was in
Today,
Arizona?
I finally get someone to answer the door. After 4 days of knocking and texting and calling, I don't view this as work. I view this as privilege.
He says he does not view this as work. Really? How much are you getting paid? His profile says he's a field representative for Turning Point Action. Something else strange. Tyler Boyer is listed on the website of the Arizona Young Republicans as part of the advisory board.
Okay.
What is Tyler Boyer doing hanging out with all these young students?
Uh-oh.
Well, it turns out that he's paying them money.
Oh.
Here's a post by the Arizona Young Republicans. Arizona, let's get Carrie Lake across the finish line. We need your help to cure ballots. Sign up with TP Action and help cure ballots. This was replied to by someone that says, where have you all been? You need to get on board earlier. Arizona Young Republicans replies, most of us literally work for TP Action, Trump team, or the campaign. I promise you, we're working, LOL. How much money is Tyler Boyer giving to the students at the Arizona Young Republicans? So I have shown you a lot of information of what Turning Point Action is actually doing in real life. I've shown you the photos. I've shown you the law. I've shown you how it does not match what is being reported to the IRS. To finish this audit, you need to answer 2 questions.
Okay.
Does Turning Point Action's activity qualify as political activity? And second, does it seem like that political activity exceeds the 3% reported to the IRS on the 990 form? In my opinion, I think absolutely yes, that they are lying to the IRS. What they are doing is so extreme on such a massive scale with millions of dollars. I think someone is lying.
Oh.
Now, for some reason, if you're still not convinced, do you remember last week, Turning Point's lawyer sent me a threatening letter? That was one of the worst mistakes that Turning Point has done. That letter is the key to this entire story.
Uh-oh.
Because in that letter, they write out their official reason why Turning Point Action's budget increased from $10.7 million in FY23 to $27.2 million in
Fiscal year.
FY24. This increase of $16.5 million was for, and I quote, lobbying and political activity
Oh
during
my
election
God.
years.
These idiots. You can't make this shit up. You can't. You just can't. You see why he talking this shit now. You can't make shit like this up. And y'all put it in the letter. We ain't doing no fraud. It increased because we was doing lobbying and political activity. He looked like. But you see how the energy has shifted. The tone has shifted since we heard from him last week. Because he did sound spooked and nervous last week. Then a few friends hit him up and was like, well, they ain't not even supposed to be doing political activity anyway. They're a 501c3. Look, talking shit. Let's be brave today.
This is what Turning Point's own lawyer is saying the $16.5 million is
Idiot.
being used for. So why is none of this money being reported
To the
CFTC
IRS.
in the 990? According to Turning Point's own official statement, they are guilty. Now I realize we're not doing a real audit here.
Right.
We do not have access to all the financial information.
Obviously.
It is possible that Turning Point has an innocent explanation for all of this.
Innocent.
But from what little information we do have, it certainly looks like something illegal is going on. But here's the crazy part.
Uh-oh.
Turning Point Action is not even my biggest concern.
Oh.
The biggest problem is America's Turning Point.
Oh.
That strange 501c3 managed by Tyler Boyer.
Tyler
It is
Boyer.
managed by the same person who manages the election-focused organizations Turning Point Action and Turning Point PAC. But we are supposed to believe that it is a 501c3 that does absolutely no political activity whatsoever.
Right.
Well, we have already seen the types of things that Turning Point is not counting as political activity. With everything that I have shown you about Tyler Boyer and his operations, how many of you believe that America's Turning Point is doing nothing political? The letter I received last week from Turning Point's lawyer revealed the bombshell news that America's Turning Point was missing employees on its 990 forms. A lot of employees. It was around 80 employees that were not reported. So now we know these people exist. The obvious question now is, who are these people? What were these people doing? One explanation could be door knockers.
Oh.
Of course, if those door knockers were wearing MAGA hats, that would make them political, which would make them illegal under a 501c3. America's Turning Point also does not get donations. It gets all of its revenue by transferring money out of Turning Point USA. I mentioned before, in FY24, $8.6 million was transferred from Turning Point USA to America's Turning Point. So let me tell you what I think is going on. Tyler Boyer manages these political companies. The Trump election is coming up in 2024. Tyler Boyer realizes he needs more people to do ballot harvesting. So he decides, let's just steal the donations from Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So he transfers $8.6 million into the company he manages, America's Turning Point. He hires a bunch of people for illegal political activity. And he tells everyone, come on, no one will ever know. Charlie Kirk doesn't even have to know. We will just say it is nonpartisan. We will call it Get Out the Vote efforts. No one's ever going to ask questions. No one will ever look at the photographs. Don't worry about it. Except I think that Charlie Kirk found out. This fits the timeline of the Baker-Tilly audit that concluded on June 20th, 2025, that would have revealed all this information to Charlie Kirk shortly before his murder. All of these people getting paid from America's Turning Point are not doing political activity. Then what are they doing? In none of the photos I have seen is there anything that would qualify as non-political activity. So what are they doing? In my opinion, this looks blatantly illegal. It looks like they are stealing donations and using them for something different than what they promised the donors. What they are allegedly using it for is illegal activity. This is why the letter with Donald Trump's alleged handwriting is so important. It looks like they stole the money to use on Donald Trump's campaign. And now Donald Trump himself could be involved in an attempt to cover up the fraud at Turning Point. The same fraud that he himself benefited from. Is this how Donald Trump is planning for Republicans to win the midterm elections? This week, Candace Owens broke a shocking news story.
Think about the size and scale of the event that they put on at Charlie's Memorial Service. They had AmFest, they had a huge donor thing at Mar-a-Lago. So everyone's been killing themselves and no one's getting raises and bonuses. And yet, according to this person, Turning Point USA has brought in $250 million since Charlie's assassination.
$250 million. Are the Turning Point executives planning on stealing those donations and using those funds illegally for political activity? Because that is what it looks like. I'm a conservative, and I do not want the Republicans to win the midterms if they're planning on doing it by breaking the law. If we have to choose between winning and doing the right thing, we need to decide to do the right thing. Come on. No reasonable person thinks that Turning Point Action was only spending 3% of their budget on political activity. They should not be stealing donations in order to win. The ends do not justify the means. I want to emphasize that this is not a theoretical discussion about the tax code. Turning Point is hurting people. They are destroying people's lives. I talked before about Julie Spilsbury. What Turning Point did to her was disgusting. This was a city councilwoman, a fellow Republican, and Turning Point orchestrated a recall election in the middle of her term because she would not vote how they told her to vote. They're not recalling Democrats. This is what they're doing to Republicans. Here's the photo I showed earlier of Turning Point's shady election practices. This is how they destroyed the life of Julie Spilsbury. And it looks like they did it by violating the tax code. Baker-Tilly is the accounting firm that has been performing the annual financial audit for Turning Point. They say there is nothing wrong with the financials at Turning Point. I have to ask Baker-Tilly, when you were doing the audit, did you look around at what the company was actually doing in real life? Because I can send you all the photos we were looking at. We have all seen the video of Erica Kirk's endorsement of J.D. Vance. I want to know what specific audit procedure you did to make sure that they are not engaged in any political activity within their 501c3 organizations. Because the evidence to me seems like it would be incredibly obvious. If Baker-Tilly overlooked these problems, they can also be criminally charged. Remember what happened with Steve Bannon? He had a nonprofit where he was trying to raise money to build the wall at the border. He and his entire leadership team was charged with fraud because they were accused of using funds for a different purpose than they promised donors. Now, I have a whole separate video going over Steve Bannon's case, and I think that what happened to him was unfair and he should never have been prosecuted. But they were prosecuted, and 3 executives went to prison. The only reason Steve Bannon didn't go to prison was that he took a deal where he pled guilty. So if we were to apply that same standard to the case I've laid out against Turning Point, the entire leadership team would go straight to prison. Tyler Boyer, prison. The CFO, Justin Olson, prison. Andrew Colbert, prison. Blake Neff, prison. Anyone who knew about the political activity and was involved in the cover-up would go to prison. And yes, that includes Erica Kirk. His name is on the letter with Donald Trump's alleged handwriting. Donald Trump, who talks all the time about election integrity, apparently does not care about election-related fraud when it deals with his friends. I am angry. I believed Donald Trump when he said that the Democrats were cheating in the elections.
There was a rigged election. Everybody now knows that. They found out. People will soon be prosecuted for what they did.
Oh my goodness.
It's probably breaking news, but it should be. It was a rigged election. Can't have rigged elections.
But doesn't this make him a hypocrite?
Mm-hmm.
How can he talk about open integrity and then help to cover up what Turning Point is doing? If I were Steve Bannon, I would be so angry. Steve Bannon's life was destroyed over his nonprofit. And what these people at Turning Point are doing is allegedly so much worse. And they're not even getting a slap on the wrist. This is so unjust and so unfair. I think it is time for law enforcement to start taking action.
Yeah, right.
This is Arizona's Attorney General. Since I've been talking about these issues, she has done nothing. Chris Mays, I don't know how much more evidence I have to show you before you order a police raid on the offices of Turning Point.
Oh my goodness.
I've done all your work for you. All you have to do is walk into court and play my videos. I reached out to Turning Point for comment. They've not responded with answers to any of my questions as of the time this video was posted. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that I like to be fair and balanced. So I think we should bring in our favorite attorney, Robert Barnes, to give Turning Point's side of the argument about what is going on.
Well, what should people know ultimately about the claims like people with bills and finance and all of the claims and allegations of impropriety when it comes to their funds in general? And then, what would you like them to know about TPUSA when it comes to, their finances?
So there was nothing wrong at all with any aspect of TPUSA's finances. They were clearly complied with tax law. There was no fraud there, no evidence of any fraud there, misappropriation of any kind there. Charlie didn't suspect any kind of misappropriation. He always wanted to act at maximum efficiency. He was the most efficient operator under the most scrutiny of any NGO in the last half century. I mean, so he was very disciplined about that. All the accusations are false. There's no proof to them whatsoever. If you look at the 990 forms, they completely comply with existing tax law. That's why you've seen nobody, like people on the left that hate Turning Point, they haven't come out and made any of these claims because nobody who understands tax law could credibly say anything bad about their tax returns.
Yeah, I thought about that. That would have been red meat for the left, and I hadn't seen them act on that at all. And that is a really good point on that.
How does he know this? How does he know the accounting records of Turning Point so well that he can say there are no problems with the finances of Turning Point?
Right.
How does he know this?
Right.
He has no evidence. He says, just trust me, guys. There's nothing wrong here. Keep in mind that this conversation was happening on a podcast called Paramount Tactical,
Right.
who recently accidentally leaked text messages he
Look, I
received
told
from
you.
Andrew Gomez.
Look, didn't I tell you? Don't show this to your viewers. Just tell them. Don't show the shit. I ain't even finished reading all the text.
This suggests that Paramount Tactical is really just propaganda for Turning Point. And
Because remember, he just came out of nowhere. Remember, this dude just randomly came out of nowhere? Now, if you had been watching him before this, I can't even say that you have. Because he just popped up out of nowhere. Give me a second real quick. Now, I gotta take two over. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Let me just see. Excuse me. Let me see real quick. Just give me a second. I'm finna go to this page. Paramount Tactical. Let me just go back. Let me see. Because we were just talking about guns. Okay, we have some Ozempic. He's getting like 2,000-3,000 views, 7,000. He talked about, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were over here. Come on. Goodness. I thought you was over here with me. Oh, I'm not trying to watch none of his stuff. If you're talking about, any type of firearms, okay, and then that was a year ago, 11 months ago, we got firearms, some random Ozempic, the truth behind Ozempic and semaglutides. See how he just, okay, He talking about scopes, okay, suppressors. I'm talking about, and then all of a sudden, look how we went from, and then boom, Charlie Kirk. Oh, I watched it too, so don't act like I went over here. We found out that the mysterious dot, that was the microphone. What they call it, a magnet or something like that. It's almost at 1 million views. Look at this one. This one is 1 million. Scroll up so we can see. Look, 1 million. And then all of a sudden, boom, look, 200K, 300K, almost 100K. Okay, new footage and video. Charlie Kirk security team. I ain't even see that one. Okay, and then all of a sudden we got into, hold on, give me a second, because there was like this weird timeline. Views started to go down, down, down. Brian Harper. And then Candace Owens. Talk about a camera gun. I don't know what's going on over there. Oh, goodness. Like, this dude just came up out of nowhere. Like, I guess that was what happened when you think about it. Like, when it comes to Charlie Kirk. John. Everybody popping up out the woodwork. Let me let him finish so I can get up out of here.
And I think Candace had some other ambitions with Charlie all the way back that she was disappointed by and things that happened. I think there's maybe more reasons she's
disappointed.
that people know about, but I'll leave that as is for now. But Charlie was one of the great Americans, and we dishonor and disrespect his legacy and his life by letting Candace Owens spread false conspiracies that could let his murderer walk free. I mean, she has all the fingerprints of a psyop. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at, she's married to the son of a British lord. I mean, you know what I mean? If I'm looking for unusual connections, it ain't in Erica Kirk's family. It's who Candace is married to. I mean, there's all kinds of issues there. She was known as Queen Candace all the way back to CPAC. I remember 2018, all the other conservatives called her Queen Candace because that was her mindset already. So the idea that we're going to let this queen, I call her the Queen of QAnon now. She's just QAnon part 2.
Okay, now he's just making up random stuff.
He just babbling, talking up. Yeah, look.
And this is the guy
I
who's
zoned
accusing
out.
me of misleading people.
Look, I zoned out, y'all.
That he's starting to lose his likability. The way Turning Point is acting
Ooh,
reminds
them
me of
eyes.
the mob. And if you think about the biggest convictions of mobsters in the U.S., they were not convicted of murder.
Right.
Al Capone was sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion. Mickey Cohen was convicted of tax evasion twice. Frank Costello was convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Enoch Nucky Johnson was convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Waxy Gordon was convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 10 years in prison. These people were not convicted of murder, violence, trafficking, or money laundering. They were sent to prison for tax fraud. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think that Turning Point is committing fraud? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. If you want to support independent journalism like this channel, consider signing up for a membership on my website, wolvesandfinance.com. For $6 a month, your support helps me to keep making these videos. Thank you to everyone who has signed up. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Thank you for watching.
Come on with the music. That was really all I came on here for, because I be trying to put Cole to sleep. He be talking. Playing. He just be rolling in the bed. I'm like, sir, please. And so I went on here and scrolled. And I saw Wolves and Finance. And so, let me see. Trying to hear what's going on over there on TikTok. What is it? The CPU, the RC, something. The viewers, they ain't paying as much. Let me get on up out of here. Get on up out of here. I said I wasn't gonna be scrolling today. Till I got to get back to editing. Remember, I can't say remember because that was on the last, before the internet had went out, and we had to restart the live stream. Remember, but I did say that I had a story time. I did say that I had a story time. I promised you a story time, and so let me tell you about that story time before I get on up out of here, because I'm gonna get on up out of here. I'm gonna go and finish editing my videos and stuff like that that I had to do. Because I got some videos to edit over here in iMovie. And but let me tell you what happened, and then I'm gonna get on up out of here. So I'm recording this series. You on OBS, so be nosy. Hold on, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let me go and find iMovie real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can tag you in. Let me find you. Okay. Let me see. If I could tag you in real quick. Let me see how I can. I know you still on YouTube. Technically, I had exited out. Okay, we over here on iMovie. Okay. Let me fix your screenshot. She is all over the place. Hold on. Let me fix it. Just give me a second, cause you being nosy. You over here iMovie. you over here be nosy. Let me see if I could bring it down a little bit so you can get the gist of it. Okay, I was over here in iMovie. I had said the last time I was on here, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try and use iMovie, and I'm gonna try to get this editing together, right? This is a series that I had started recording. So, you have to have like your own separate storage capacity to create your own videos versus going live. Live, you just go, and then whatever platform you're going live on, they save it for you. So, let me change the frame because my wide open. Let me, hold on real quick. Let me see if I can slide it over and put it at the beginning so you'll know where I'm at. Just stay right there. No. Okay. This is season 1, episode 1, right? Technically, I should change the name and put Surviving Homelessness in Atlanta. Because we did survive. It's something about, I ain't gonna be able to hear it. Something about my voice. For some reason, I can't hear my own voice for some reason. Like I'm still working on that. But hold on, let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller so I can see the control panel real quick. But so we have, I'm just making sure I can see it. So we have the thumbnail. Season 1, episode 1. We have the intro. Let me scroll it over. We have the intro here. We have some music. We have some transitions. We have like another quote, of course. I believe this is called a background. We were able to put like some words on it. We was able to adjust the time. And then we have the screen recording. Now, let me explain. Because we not only do we have the screen recording here, we also have words coming in at the bottom. So now I can tell you what ended up happening, right? And let me just keep it right there. So that way, hold on, let me slide it over, because usually I'm in YouTube, I ain't typically in no other apps. So I wanted to, this is, look, I always got to explain stuff. This is the filter that I'm using when I'm recording over here, right? But when I'm on my laptop, I'm using OBS. And then this is a different channel. But I can use this filter when I'm live streaming, but it's only on the phone. I also recently found out that you can use this filter YouTube Shorts as well, but we ain't talking about that right now, okay? We just follow along with the story real quick so I don't get sidetracked. So, I'm trying to create this series, right? I'm trying to create this series, Homeless in Atlanta. I'm remembering, okay, when you're making videos, right? You need a thumbnail, you need an intro, outro. So I'm slowly doing one thing at a time. Okay, let me get the thumbnail. Okay, let me create an intro and see. Okay, let me create an outro. Okay. It's different compartments to it, right? So then I get to the video part, the video portion. And I was like, I really like the tune effect. I really like using the cartoon effect. So I was like, how can I use it? Now, initially I thought that I couldn't use it because it was a live streaming feature, which means that I actually had to go live in order to. Hold on. I thought I heard Cole. I thought I had to go live to actually use the feature. Some way, somehow, I found out about it with YouTube Shorts. When I was over there creating my family channel, I had found out about it. Technically, I found out about it beforehand, but I think I was just going through the app one day. Anyway, so, because what ends up happening is when I'm, you know this screen right here, right? If I wanted to go to video, that's upload a video. If I wanted to go to short, I can make a short. I can change the time from 15 seconds to 3 minutes. I could change the camera around, turn it around, front, back, the timer, if I wanted to speed it up. If I wanted to use a timer to like time me in. And then of course this button right here is the feature. But I didn't know that the cartoon effect, it turns on automatically before I even press record. Versus when I'm live streaming, I actually have to go live and then turn the feature on. So I had this grand idea. I was like, oh, so now I can use the feature, the effect, the cartoon effect, and just screen grab it while I'm using the cartoon effect. I was like, oh, that's genius. And lo and behold, that took me down this long, dark iPhone 16 Pro, I mean, wormhole that I just, my head just, so first, what I didn't know was the mic. When you're screen grabbing and you're trying to talk through the screen recording, if you're trying to screen record and you're trying to actually talk, I had no idea that you had to long press the screen record button and then you had to actually turn the mic on. Didn't know that. So I ended up recording episode 1, screen recording, mic is mute. So irritated. I'm like, okay, let's just re-record it, right? I'm like, okay, let's just re-record it. We see. Then I found out that when I'm screen recording, my camera kept doing this time lapse thing. Like, you know, when you're recording a time lapse, it's just, you know, no audio, it's just recording the movements and stuff like that, right? I'm recording the video. I ended the video and it's just skip. It's only like 53 seconds. And I'm looking like I've been talking for 15, 20 minutes. So I had to go over here to settings. I had to go to somewhere in screen time. I had to go to like content and restrictions or something. I had to go like down this dark alley, turn that on. And so now the screen recording like actual time. So that's after I've recorded episode 1 twice. And after that, I just recorded it, no filter, no screen recording. I just recorded it on my camera, right? No cartoon feature. I just recorded myself. Then the problem that I realized with that one, I was playing music in the background. And so, if you know, you know about that music thing. They have this feature over here, I believe, down here on settings, I believe, where it says something about you can trim out background music. So I'm going to try to see if I can port that video over and maybe trim out the background music. We'll see. So that was episode 1 recorded 3 times. Once muted, once time lapsed for like 53 seconds, and then once recorded, but it had like music playing in the background. Like not real music, just like, you know, the meditative music that I listen to. Because I needed it at that point. I had already recorded it like 2 times. So then I got the hang of it until Saturday. I'm trying to edit this video. Not even trying. I got all the way to the end. If we scroll, this is me. I'm just adding. It's no captions. I can guarantee you that it's no captions. I'm just all the way to the end. It's a 14 and 52 second video. 14-minute video. I was trying to play the video back. I don't like to hear my voice, but I was trying to play it back just to, you know, final cut, right? And I heard it skipping. And I'm like, why is it doing that again? Like, why is it? not skipping, it's like pausing. I'm like, why is it doing that? And then I ran into yet another issue that I've recorded 6 episodes, 6 in total. And I was gonna spend all week just editing them and getting them ready to be published, which I still am. I just had to take a break because when I tell you, I was so irritated. So it's the iPhone 16 Pro that I'm recording this on, right? Because it's a brand new phone. I got it for the storage. So I'm recording it, the video, and I mean, I'm editing, I'm final cutting, and I'm trying to figure out why is it pausing. I'm like, why is it still doing it? Now, I'm watching it, and I'm realizing when it's pausing. But the problem is, it seems like the video cuts and then it restarts at a certain point. And so I'm realizing when it does that. And now I'm going to tell you why. Just a heads up. So when you're screen recording on an iPhone 16 Pro, I don't know when it started, but I know when I got the iPhone 16 Pro, and I did a screen grab the first time, like when I was on Mrs. Mind Games, YouTube shorts. I would like screen grab like an article. I would like scroll through it and stuff like that. Then I would voice over it when I got into the YouTube app, because obviously I didn't know at the time that you could screen grab and use the mic at the same time. So there's this moment where if you look up here at the top, I'm gonna zoom in here. Let me move it down, and then I'm gonna zoom in here real good so you can see. And I wish I had like a screen grab of it so you could actually see. So there's this red status bar right here. It's called the red status bar. If you cut the flashlight on, the flashlight will come up here. If you have the timer on, the timer will come on up there. And so it's called the status bar. So when you're screen recording, the status bar turns red, and then you have this red dial, right? And if you're in the middle of screen recording and you tap this red status bar, it reveals the time. What I didn't know was that was pause, not just, oh, this is the time. And so that is why my videos had those cuts in them, those unexpected cuts in them, because I'm recording, I'm trying to make sure, like I didn't have like my timer on my other phone or on my computer or on the iPad. Like I didn't have like another timer. Because it's showing me the time. So I'm not thinking that if I press the time in the status bar, that would pause the screen recording. Like I'm not thinking that that's what it's doing. And so just imagine if I like had it up there, just visible, so I can see it, and I'm maybe closing out the video. Okay, you know, I'm at 25 minutes, I'm at 30 minutes, I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and wrap it up, you know, whatever I'm saying at the end. If I still had the timer going up there, none of that is recorded. It stopped wherever I And so, when I tell you, you live and you learn. You live to learn another day. I couldn't even get the quote out. I couldn't even get the quote out because it really got under my skin to the point to where I'm over here chatting with Apple support. I'm over here chatting with them. I'm like, is that a built-in feature or am I tripping? And she's like, no, that's not no built-in feature. It shouldn't be doing that. And she's like, well, and she's trying to get me to reset. And I had, ma'am, I'm not resetting, having to put all them, all them credit cards in Apple Pay. No, ma'am. And it was at that moment when I realized that I should have just went back over to the Android because I became so frustrated. Like completely frustrated. Frustrated. And of course, I bring it up to my son. And he's like, well, just don't push the button. And I'm like, don't try to say it like that. Like, don't try to, just don't push the button. Don't say it like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, why have it if I can't even utilize it? Obviously it's just for pause. That's what I realized. It's just for pause. It's not to sit there and it's gonna pause the video. And so in the meantime, in between, I'm finna go and get on the button. If I don't go live for the rest of the week, whoop-de-doo. I have videos to edit. I do. And then obviously I got to get started on season 2. We got all the way up to what did we get? Episode 6, which was the end of season 1. We got all the way up to when we were about to get ready to transfer out of the homeless shelter. I'm talking about we had went down this extensive timeline, just trying to puzzle it all together, obviously just keeping the details, what's the word, to a minimum, but also being transparent. I mean, we ain't got nothing to really hide. Because it really be the recap where you can get all the tea. I have to come in and be like, okay, let's recap. Let me see where we at. And so that was just something that we learned. And when I tell you, my head was like, ooh, I need a break. And so I wasn't going to come on here, but I saw Wolves in Finance. And I was like, well, what happened? Because Candace didn't come on because obviously, they didn't backdoor us. I don't know about y'all, because there's some people out there that did get some snow. The people who usually get some. They just tried to make it seem like, oh my goodness. Oh. Y'all better be careful out here. This weather is finna get crazy. Child, we got some ice. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, it did get ice. Now, we did get some ice. But, jeez, it wasn't that serious. The sun was beaming today. I'm like, okay, is the trash running today? Or y'all just was like, okay, all right, well, it'll be there for you tomorrow. See? I wasn't going to hold you up. I wasn't going to take too much of your time or anything like that. Technically, I just wanted to come on here and say happy Monday. This video is edited. I don't know why I haven't uploaded it. But it's edited. It's done. It's complete. And so, hopefully we get it together by season 2. In the meantime, in between time,